You're listening to the EFL Championship live on TalkSport 2 with McDonald's. Order McDelivery on the app and get reward points. 18 plus participating restaurants, delivery fees and terms apply. See mcdonalds.com. So, we are 3 minutes away from kick-off here at Vicarage Road. Both sets of players are out on the pitch. And one thing that I like about Vicarage Road, and you can attest to this as well alongside me, Scott Minto, is there's a really good away end. So you've got the Luton fans, they're not shoved low in a corner, they've got a whole section just to the right of us, and they can really make themselves heard, can't they?
Absolutely. I think all four sides are certainly making themselves heard. And I go back to, this is the biggest game of the season for both sets of players, for both sets of fans. And you know what? It's been a horrible season for Luton. Flo, I did not see this coming. This time last year, you're thinking, well, Luton are the only of the promoted sides who look like they've got a chance of staying up in the Premier League. In January, would they go for it? Would they not? In terms of bringing in players and spending a bit of money, I don't blame them at all for not doing that. And for them to fight to the very end in the way they did, I thought was brilliant. But I did not see this coming this season.
Exactly. They had two strikers in Carlton Morris and Adebayo who hit double figures in the Premier League. And now Luton can't score. It's
incredible that scoring wasn't the problem. I think it was only Spurs last season at the Kenny where they didn't score against. And yet this season, I've spoken to a lot of people and tried to speak to people within the club and say, what has gone on here? Because we didn't see it coming, because we've seen what Luton have done from over a decade ago, from where they've come, really from the ashes. It's more than just a club. It's a community. It's a calling almost for anyone who's attached to Luton. And yet this is exactly the opposite of what we were expecting from Luton Town this season. I think it's a massive fallout subconsciously and psychologically from what happened last season, being with the big boys and not quite been able to be up for it without not trying. It's not that they're not trying, but boy, the Championship, if you're not up for it, it can find you out. Whereas for Watford, they've got a great chance. They've still got a very good chance. I still don't think they will get into the top six, but they have to believe that they can.
So Asgard for Luton Town has the ball in the centre circle. And as Scott Minto, former Chelsea defender, was saying, football comes at you fast. 1 minute you can be flying high in the Premier League, and next you can be staring down the barrel of relegation to League One, which is what Luton Town are at the moment. But 3 points today, with some favourable results yesterday, could take them off the bottom, ahead of Derby, ahead of Plymouth, and also would mean that they did the double over Watford this season. So this 90 minutes could be season defining for Luton Town, and they get us underway. Back to Kaminski, hits the ball downfield looking for Carlton Morris back in the starting 11. Now it's Isaiah Jones, he's dispossessed by Kayembe. Luton Town starting very fast. Asgard back to Amari Bell, and he's tripped, and a free kick early on for Luton. Luton in their away strip, full white kit, white shirt, socks and shorts. Watford, of course, in their yellow shirts, red shorts and socks. I'll go through the starting 11s for you in just a moment. Luton have a free kick here in quite a decent position, midway inside Watford's half from the left, and we know how good Alfie Doherty is from a set piece.
Yeah, also Liam Walsh is good, and he's been able to get onto it, and quite often those in-swinging ones, because he is good, it's not just on Alfie Doherty, and it looks like he will take one in.
Takes it short, and Walsh brings the ball into the box, and a header at the back post from Anderson. Goes wide of target. First chance for Luton. Been a
good start from Luton, hasn't it? They've been the team on the front foot so far, and winning the free kick and the little touch to Doughty and whipped in from Walsh. And that's half a chance that from Anderson at the back post. Yeah, not always easy to get it on target. You're under pressure, but has been a good start from Luton.
Let's quickly go through the lineups then. So Watford in goal, it's Selvik, back four of Ngakia, Abankwah, Caban and Larouci. Loser and Int in the middle, no Sissoko, he's injured, that's a miss. He scored against Borough last time out. Deli Bashiri in midfield as well. Kayembe, Chakpatadze and Dombia chosen up front instead of Akumbayo, who's back from suspension but is only on the bench. As Mads Anderson, centre-half for Luton, plays it back to his goalkeeper, Kaminski. They've got a back three then of Bell, Anderson and Walters. The wing-backs are Doughty and Jones, Nakamba, Walsh and Asgard in midfield, and the front two, Morris and Nordas, signed Norwegian in January and chosen to play midweek against Plymouth Argyle and to start this afternoon. As we mentioned, Luton have struggled for goals, so bringing in a new striker is what they need, really.
It's incredible when you mentioned about the goals that Adebayo and Morris scored last season in the Premier League, and yet this season in the Championship they'd be struggling to score goals. But I think Nordas, what we saw in that game against Plymouth, is someone he's got a little bit of everything. He's almost a combination of the two of them. He's quite tall, he's quite good in the air, and he's also decent on the ground, so he's a great addition.
3 minutes on the clock. Watford 0, Luton 0. Massive game for both these sides, as it's a derby, but also in terms of the table, as Ince plays it back to Keban, 21-year-old, signed in the summer from Toulouse. He's been out, not this season with injury, but he's in for ahead of Matty Pollock. Player with the same surname as me, not a relation of mine, but I always look out and hope he does well. Maybe he's a distant relative of mine, who knows?
We'll have to check after the game.
We will do my ancestry. Kayembe picks it up for Watford, slides it out to Ngakia. The right back in Luton's attacking third, back with Kayembe. Finds Imran Louza. He's the man that makes this Watford side tick. Pulls the strings. Chakvetadze now. Socks slung low like Grealish. Ngakia now. Back to Louza. All the Luton players back in their own half defending. Watford just passing it around.
Yeah, Imran Louza's he's become a very important member of this Watford side, just able to control games, and he's getting on the ball now. After what was a good start from Luton, it's now Watford are able to pass it around and keep possession, and Louza being an integral member of that.
0-0 here on TalkSport 2 between Watford and Luton in the Championship. Again picked up by Louza just inside his own half. Finds Tom Ince, 33-year-old, got a lot of experience in the Championship. Hasn't played too many times this season for Watford. Actually had a season at Luton, 2020, 2021. A few players that played for both sides. But there we go. As Kaminski rolls it out to Jones, signed from Middlesbrough. Hits it long for Norgard, who's through here, and a challenge comes in. Free kick and a yellow card. But I think it was a Bankwa, the Watford centre-half, and that moment there, Scott Minto, Nordas looked like it was 3 on goal, and a banker brought him down. That could have been a red. Well,
it could have been, but I think it's the right decision, because although he'll be heading towards goal, I'm not quite sure he's denied a goal-scoring opportunity. I think other defenders were around on the cover just to have a look around, but it shows again just what an absolute nightmare he can be to play against, and why I think he's a really, really good addition. It was a badly mistimed tackle, wasn't it, from Abankwah?
Looking at it again, I think it's actually Ngakia in the book. So first yellow, 5 minutes play, Watford 0, Luton 0, and Luton with another chance to get the ball in. But as you said, Lasse Nordas signed this January, made his debut against Plymouth midweek. And is he the man that's going to get these goals for Luton that they desperately need to help them stay up in the Championship this season? So Doughty and Walsh over this set piece again. It's about 40 yards, 35 yards from goal, right of centre. Plenty of Luton Town players forward, including big Carlton Morris, number 9. We know how dangerous he can be aerially. Doughty whips the ball in, looking for Morris, who gets his head on it, but it's a tame header in the end, and it's easily claimed by Selvik.
Yeah, the referee's assistant put his flag up as well, so I think someone was offside in there. I just wonder, Alfie Doughty, the great left foot that he's got, he just kind of dinked it in there. He's got to put a bit more whip and pace, because whoever's going to get on the end of it would have had to generate their own pace with the header, and that would have been difficult. Watford now coming forward with Ngakia, and it was him that got in the book for that late challenge. Early stages, Watford 0, Luton 0. Loads of Championship action across the TalkSport network. On Monday, it's the big one. Sheffield United leads in the Championship. That's a TalkSport 2 exclusive. Also, Premier League all next week. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Every single Premier League game across the TalkSport network as well. As Watford hit the ball downfield, it's met by Mari Bell, picked up by Tom Ince just over the halfway, and on the right hand side he's got Dombia
to his right. He's got 3 white shirts around him. Finds Dombia in the channel, who had just strayed offside. Free kick from Luton, and a promising Watford attack breaks down.
Oh, so frustrating. I mean, Tom Ince could have played it earlier, but he's trying to run with the ball, carry it up the field, and then as he lays it to Dombia, he's got to look along the line. I mean, he's the last man in terms of being on the right-hand side. He can completely see the whole picture of whether it be offside or not, and not at any point should he be in that position to do that. He's expecting the pass from Tom Ince, and it's basic stuff, really.
Long ball up, and again, flag is up for offside. The Luton Town player, son, coming back from offside position. Free kick for Watford.
It's not an unexpected start. It's a little bit scrappy. It's very windy, as we've already said, so any long balls are just kind of getting held up and not perhaps going exactly where they want them to be. But after that initial burst from Luton in the very first couple of minutes, it's been Watford who have been taking more control of this game. Another
long ball forward for young Dombia. Again, offside as he just leaves the ball in front of the Luton Town fans, and you can sense the nerves in the stadium, can't you? It's usually pretty raucous and loud here at Vicarage Road, but even the Luton fans, the away fans to our right, just watching, waiting, not roaring their team on, just trying to see what their team are going to do.
Well, Luton, Watford are the team who are trying to go towards the playoffs as they possibly can. They're playing at home against a team that's bottom of the table, and yet they're nervous. So imagine how Luton fans are feeling right now.
Ball is just in front of the Watford penalty area, knocked away by Ngakia. It's back though with Asgard for Luton. He goes down there with a challenge, shoulder to shoulder. The referee feels, picked up by Loser, the captain today for Watford. He's hits it out to the left-hand side, slid forward looking for Dombia, but Mads Andersen will just watch that through and let it go all the way through to the goalkeeper, who's come out and taken down Dombia, and Watford have a penalty.
Wow. And do you know what? Fair play to Dombia, because he never gave up. That ball was overplayed to him. It talks about how Watford are getting more and more in control of this game now in midfield, and certainly coming from Loser. And he's the one who kind of starts it. The ball's played in, and it's between Andersen and the keeper. He never gives up, Dombia. I don't think that's a penalty for me. I'm not quite sure how that's been given.
Really odd one. So a through ball looking for Dombia. Mads Andersen's trying to shield it back to his goalkeeper. Kaminsky, the goalkeeper, comes out, gets gloves on it, but then kind of pushes it away from him, takes down Dombia in the process. And the referee, no hesitation, pointed to the spot.
Well, I'll be honest with you, I don't know how much of the ball Kaminsky actually got, but the ball didn't carry on going in the direction it was, which tells me that he did get enough on it. And of course he's coming out, he's going to, the attacker going out one way and a goalkeeper coming the other. Of course the attacker's going to fall on the ground. I think Watford have got away with that one, but they have to take advantage.
Bit of a controversial decision then. Penalty for Watford. Deli Bashiri over this spot kick. Kaminsky in goal. A hush around the stadium as Deli Bashiri steps up and slides it into the bottom corner to give Watford the lead here. 10 minutes played at Vicarage Road. Watford 1, Luton 0.
Well, I'll tell you what, anybody who says, oh, it's a penalty, that's an easy way to score, has never stepped up and taken a penalty, and never stepped up and taken a penalty against your local rivals as well. The pressure on him, he certainly would have been feeling it, but the important thing was he didn't show it, and that's a really well taken penalty for sure. Look, we can argue, we might have to see replays on that as to whether we think it was a penalty or not. The referee obviously doesn't get that. We know in the Championship and the EFL there's no VAR. We also know there's a lot of people who are happy there's no VAR, so we cannot complain too much on it, but the decision was made. I do think it was a little bit fortunate, but fair play to him. He looked cool, didn't he? Just stepping up, just 3 or 4 steps, slow, looking up, seeing where the keeper would go, who actually went the same way, so then you have to make sure you put it in the corner, and he did just that.
And that has woken up the Watford fans here at Vicarage Road. Now they're a bit more relaxed now, their side are leading by goal to nil, 12 minutes played. Bit of a odd penalty decision, but a disastrous start for Luton Town. in a season which has just been disastrous from non-stop, really, except for that one result they got at Kenilworth Road in October against Watford when they won 3-0. That's the only good moment they've had this season.
Yeah, and they absolutely hammered them, didn't they? Went direct, went physical. Watford couldn't handle them at all. And as I say, they started off in the first few minutes very well, but Watford have been able to get hold of the ball a lot more. They look the team that's a lot more confident and happy to be on the ball and pass it, rather than Luton, who are now just looking to try and get up to the front two as much as possible and play from there.
Watford 1, Luton 0. That's the voice of Scott Minto, former Chelsea fullback. And Ngakia, Watford's fullback, with a throw in midway inside his own half. He's their right back. Throws it into Loser, receives the ball back. Down under a challenge from behind from Nordas, Luton's new forward. And it'll be a free kick for Watford just inside their own half. Watford not in the best form themselves, just 2 wins in their last 11 championship games, but they did get 4 points from Borough, Leeds and Sunderland, which is not bad when you look at those teams.
No, very good indeed. And it wasn't that long ago where we were all hearing leaks coming out the club that Tom Cleverley was about to get sacked. In fact, they were coming out so much before that Coventry game that the Watford felt they had to come out and say no. And what was really strange, Flo, is they said no, he will be in charge for the Coventry game. I mean, why not for the rest of the season and beyond? Which tells me that absolutely there was something in it. Fair play to him. And do you know what? He's so incredibly popular here. He's seen as one of their own, even though he hasn't come through the academy. He's played enough time and been here now and been really popular both as a player and as a manager. And look, we know the history and the reputation of the owners here, but if they get rid of him, then my goodness me, what are they going to do? They're going to be stuck in the Championship at best for years to come.
Watford have the ball in their own half with Tom Ince. And as you say, he is very popular here, Tom Cleverley. Against Borough away, they won 1-0. And at the end, the players and the manager, Tom Cleverley, went up to the away fans and they were all chanting his name and the players are pushing him forward. So you can see how popular he is. And I've heard from a lot of Watford fans as well saying that they've not got the budget that a lot of other teams do, as they're coming forward now. The ball's played across the face of goal. Loser was there, but Kaminski came out quicker to snatch it before Loser could get there. Dangerous moment again for Watford. But a lot of Watford fans are saying he's not got a massive budget, and the players he's got, he's doing a good job. Absolutely.
And he didn't get what he wanted really in January. And there was talk about, you know, would he be happy? But he knows the score. I mean, anybody who takes over the Watford job, manager's job, knows the score. But I just think, what do the owners want? You know, are they expecting to not go out and spend lots of money, and yet somehow within the first 6 months you're going to show that you are going to be, you know, winning promotion? It just doesn't happen like that. And if you carry on like that, then, as I say, at best they're going to be a championship side. At worst, they're going to be fighting relegation and at some point getting relegated. This is a guy who's learning all the time. Why not just go with him and let him be a project?
Quarter of an hour played. Watford 1, Luton 0. That penalty scored by Tom Deli-Bashiri as Kaminski, Luton's goalkeeper, launches the ball downfield. Keban, Deli-Bashiri and him and Loser just pass the ball between themselves in the centre of the pitch. Tom Ince now just trotting over the halfway line. Ngakia doing the overlapping run. But Watford happy and content just to hold on to the ball for now. Loser then playing the ball over, looking for the run of Ngakia, well cut out by Alfie Doughty. But Watford always looking for that long ball forward for either Ngakia, who's playing very high as a fullback, or the number 20 Dombia up front, as Shaq Fatadzi is going down the left-hand channel, level with the penalty box. Still keeps it in, out by the corner flag. Good little trick, whips the ball in, too close to Kaminski.
Yeah, it's all Watford at the moment, isn't it? And you're absolutely right. And Ngakia is bombing on down the right-hand side. Larucci's bombing on down the left. You got Luzu, who's just dropping in to almost be like a third centre-half, where really he's like the quarterback, and he's happy to pass, but he's always looking up to see, and especially with his left foot, he's naturally looking towards the right-hand side to see if he can play that ball over the top.
Kaminski with a long ball downfield, and Ngakia's struggling with Nordas, but helped out by his centre-half, and Watford clear their lines. Ball at the half-way line. Asgard now does well to shield the ball away from Tom Ince, plays it back into Marvellous Nakamba on the halfway line. He does a beautifully lofted switch pass out to the right hand side. Great touch by Isaiah Jones, his ball across hits a banquet out for a Luton corner. Nice passage of play though from the away side.
Absolutely, it was a great ping from Asgard, I have to say. And as a left back, I've been there before. You want to try and get tight. You think you should get there, and you're a little bit in no man's land in the end. And Jones takes the touch. Really good first touch. If he was able to get a better cross in, then Watford weren't set. But at least Luton are trying to come back with something now, because they've been stung. Actually, not just from the goal, even a little bit before then. Watford have been dominating, certainly possession.
17 minutes played. Watford 1, Luton 0 on TalkSport 2. The corner comes in. It's hung up towards the back stick. Great punch from Selvik. Had to get there. Nordas was putting some pressure on him. He's down holding his head. I think Watford surely need to play the ball out, and the referee, Andrew Kitchen, stops play. Really brave. Good goalkeeping from Selvik, who's done well since coming in.
He has done well. It has been a problem for sure with the goalkeepers at Watford. And Selvik is someone who's come in. Obviously, we'll wait to see to properly judge him, whether he's played well or really not well in the first couple of games. You need a bit of time, but no, I think he's got something, and I think he'll be a really good goalkeeper for Watford.
You're listening to the EFL Championship live on TalkSport 2 with McDonald's. Order McDelivery on the app and get rewards points. 18 plus participating restaurants, delivery fees and terms apply. See mcdonalds.com. Here at Vicarage Road, Watford 1, Luton Town 0. It's back with Selvik, the Watford goalkeeper. He just pokes it out to Larouci. Deli Bashiri, the goal scorer, on the edge of his own box, passes back to his goalkeeper. Loser now. Luton just pressing all the players in the Watford half, but Watford looking pretty content to stroke the ball around. They're coming forward now. That's a loose pass though, picked up by Walsh. He slides it out to Carlton Morris in the right wing position. You want him in the box really for the cross. Plays it back to Walsh. Walsh dispossessed and picked up by Georgie Chakvetadze for Watford in his own half. We know he likes to dribble. He's coming forward. It's a great slide-in challenge though from Marvellous Nakamba. Chakvetadze back on the ball. Lovely little pass to Ince. Went for the return pass again. Marvellous Nakamba with a good challenge. Out for a throw-in though. Watford in possession. They lead through that Tom Deli Bashiri penalty. They've had the most penalties in the Championship, 7, and they've scored every single one of them.
Well, they'll be hoping to get a few more then, if they could possibly do that. But I mean, it's frenetic stuff, isn't it? It's 100 miles an hour, and at the moment it's Watford who are able to get the ball down and just try to take the sting out of the game when they need to. You know, you're right, Carlton Morris made a good run out in the channel run, but you want to see him in the box really, because if the ball was laid out and the cross came in, he wouldn't be there. But at the moment they're finding it difficult to get in the final third, Luton.
20 minutes played. Watford 1, Luton 0. Tom Ince on the ball, plays it back to Loser in the Luton half in this right hand channel. Watford really using their fullbacks well, and Gaki and Larouci getting really high and wide, just allowing Watford to exploit the space across the pitch. Deli Bashiri, goal scorer, just dribbles away from Walsh. Does really well just to spin and turn and then pick out a Banqua over the halfway line. He plays out to the left-hand side with Larouci driving infield. Nice pass up to Dombia, who leaves it for Larouci in the penalty area. Good block by Bell. Loser though from range, straight down the throat of Kaminski. Watford, 21 minutes played, looking at the more superior side. Yeah, they're dominating now, aren't they? Great run from Larouci and just coming inside, and it was a really good tackle from Bell. Again, he's inside the box, so he has to win it. Otherwise, it's going to be another penalty. Maybe it would have been 8 out of 8, but no, really well timed. And actually for Lusa, he's just on the edge of the box on his left foot. With the quality that we know he has, he'd be disappointed he's just put that down Kaminski's throat. He scored a goal recently, didn't he? I think it was against Sunderland in the 2-2, an absolute screamer from the edge of the box. Brilliant goal. Kayembe for Watford now over the halfway line into Ince on the right. Chakvetadze out on the left if they can switch the ball over. Good hold-up play from Dombia, 19-year-old forward for Watford. It's now within Gaki, whips the ball across, and Dombia with the header couldn't quite direct it goalwards. He wants a corner. Referee has given a goal kick. Well, do you know what? There's so much on top, Flo, that they need to be careful that
or they need the second goal. Because all the while it's 1-0, it could just be a mistake or a bit of brilliance from Luton, and suddenly they're back in the game, when actually you'd be thinking, well, how did that happen? You know, Watford have been so good apart from those initial 2 or 3 minutes. And Gaki, especially down the right-hand side, is a really good cross that's whipped in. Larouci now is starting to get a little bit more in the game down the left-hand side as well. Doumbia, I think, has showed really good hold-up play. So everything's going so well at the moment for Tom Cleverley and his side, but they just could do with that second goal. I think that would really dampen psychologically Luton, the way they've been playing.
Chakvetadze now storming towards the Luton goal in the penalty area. The defenders are backing off. He goes past the defender, squares it for Kayembe, who knocks it in for Watford's second. Fantastic goal from Watford here in front of Vicarage Road that erupts. Watford 2, Luton 0, and Watford are tearing them apart.
Well, if we didn't know about the talents of Chakvetadze before today, then we certainly do now. What a wonderful run, just timing everything to perfection, showing pace, class, skill, composure, and then way to pass at the end, where still the final pass wasn't easy to try and get it in between the goalkeeper and the defender. The way he picks up the ball, the way he runs just in that inside left position on his right foot, evading a tackle, putting it across. I mean, it's the simplest of tap-ins for Kayembe, but he has to be there. But there's no doubt about it, that goal is all about Chakvetadze. And I spoke about getting that second goal for Luton, for Watford. For Luton now, they've got to somehow get back in this game. Make sure you don't concede that third goal, but start to try and attack a little bit more. Because at the moment, it is all Watford.
Vicarage Road is bouncing. 24 minutes played. Watford 2, Luton 0. And we spoke about the defence ahead of this, Scott Minto, and that was Mads Andersen again. The first goal, he tried to shield the ball back to his goalkeeper. Goalkeeper gave away a penalty there. Chakvetadze just went past him like he wasn't there.
No, he did, but he could argue there's no protection. And once Chakvetadze is being allowed to, and when I say being allowed, I mean where were the midfielders? Being allowed to run at pace and inside the box. You know, Mads Andersen feels like he's got to make almost a last-ditch tackle. There's no protection at the moment in front of that back three, but yeah, it's not just the back three, it's the midfield as well. And I spoke about how they're really good players. I mean, we just saw Beli Bashiri just hold on to the ball for about 5-10 seconds and then turn Liam Walsh. And I'm thinking he had nowhere to go. Don't let him out. He let him out, went down the other side. They're winning their individual battles now, Watford, as well as looking like they're exactly a well-oiled unit. And fair play to Tom Cleverley for that.
Doumbia going up for a bit of an aerial challenge with Bell, going down holding his face. Luton Town fans booing him, thinking he made a bit of a meal of that. Luton Town then rock bottom of the Championship, and doesn't look like today they're going to be moving away from that spot. Top of the Championship though, Sheffield United and Leeds. That game is on TalkSport 2 exclusive on Monday at 8 p.m. Also every Premier League game live across the TalkSport network this week. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. On Tuesday alone, we've got full coverage of Chelsea, Southampton, Premier League on TalkSport and TalkSport 2. We've got Crystal Palace, Aston Villa, Talk exclusive, Wolves and Fulham. And on the TalkSport app, we've got Brighton and Bournemouth as well. And then more Premier League games Wednesday and Thursday as well. Non-stop football here on TalkSport. Best way always is to use the TalkSport app. You can slide between TalkSport and TalkSport 2 to listen to whatever you fancy. So Watford 2, Luton 0, and Luton have a free kick in the Watford half, about 10 yards inside the Watford half. Walsh dinks the ball in towards the box. Good control from Jones, dribbles out towards the corner, goes down under a challenge, but the free kick given Watford's way. Watford free kick right out by their corner flag, and everything is going Watford's way at the moment. Yeah,
I was just about to say that sums up how Luton are feeling at the moment. The ball's played in the corner. You know, Jones has got the ball, and yet somehow it's him who's made the foul. You know, again, these are really difficult times mentally, psychologically for these Luton players. No one believed they'd be where they are in the league this season. No one thought this would happen after what happened last season, and now they are rock bottom. They're up against their rivals at the moment, and they're being completely outplayed and, I would argue, outfought one of them can happen, the other one can't. So they absolutely need to get their heads together and say, look, we need to do better here. Even if sometimes just get it in the channels and just try to pin Watford, but don't let them out. Win your individual battle from here on in, and then you never know what can happen. If they do get the next goal, then they're back in the game, but they look a million miles from it at the moment. If there's another goal, it looks like it's coming from Watford.
And Luton haven't really scored many goals this season to give their fans hope as well. They've scored the joint fewest in the Championship. This time last season, they'd already scored more in the Premier League and 8 games fewer. As Shakvatadze has the ball out on the left-hand side, running at Walters, eases past him, his ball across, cleared by Amari Bell, out for a Watford corner, but Shakvatadze is he looks like he's just strolling through the park and players are just peeling away from him.
Yeah, I'm loath to say what I'm about to say, Flo, because Watford fans won't be happy, but I don't see how he's going to be here next season. I think they've done well to keep him. Even if they go up, he may well stay. But what a player he is. He's definitely a Premier League ability.
As it stands, Watford up to 9th in the Championship. They take the corner short. Loser to Shakvatadze. Again, dribbles straight past a Luton Town player. Plays the ball in towards the penalty area. Goes over everyone. Will be kept alive by Ince. Poor pass throw from Ince. A chance now, though, for Luton to break. It's 2-on-2, Sire Jones over the halfway line, but the yellow shirts flooding back and the Luton Town players just jogging up for that counter. Sire Jones still going, really great run from him, out by the byline, goes down under a challenge in the box, referee unmoved, and Watford managed to clear, but on that counter, we'll come back to that because they've still got it, Luton, they've won it back. Ball in by Walters off Shakvatadze. On that counter, the Watford players were racing to get back and the Luton players were just jogging up.
Yeah, I mean, it really impressed me. You're 2-0 up and yet still 6-7 players. You said 2v2 and then literally about 5 seconds later, there's almost a 2v8.
Luton whipped the ball in the box. Doughty with the header, but Loser hooks it away. Approaching the half-hour mark. Watford 2, Luton 0. Asgard wins it back for Luton, 25 yards out, central position, dribbling away towards the left, picks out Alfie Doughty. Return little pass, Asgard dinks it in, doesn't beat the defender. Picked up by Carlton Morris in the box though, the Luton captain. He gets the cross away. Nordas went up and then fell down. I'm not sure if he was claiming he was pushed. I didn't see a Watford player near him, but anyway, he's back with the Watford goalkeeper Selvik.
Yeah, I mean, look, that's better from Luton. At least they got it into the Watford area and sort of kept it in there. But again, the final ball just not good enough. But it's almost like slow steps. You're 2-0 down, you're being completely outplayed. At least try and pin Watford in. And that's what they did just in the last minute or so. But you're right, I was going to finish before there was a possible attack where Luton were all getting back and they had 8 players back within the space of 10 seconds. Luton just look lacking in confidence at the moment trying to get forward.
Watford in possession. Imran Loser just a couple of yards in front of his own penalty box. Luton not pressing. Out with a Bankwa. He finds Shakvatadze, who collects the ball wide and then just dribbles infield. Good challenge though in the end from Isaiah Jones. He's the one Luton Town player that has actually looked up for this and has looked good so far. Playing wing back, not really a role that he played much at Borough, but here we are. Loser whips it out to Larousse now on the left-hand side, edge of the box. And he goes down under a challenge from Isaiah Jones. Fair one. Kayembe now tries to beat Walters. Unable to do so, and it's cleared.
Yeah, at the moment they're not even able to hold the ball up, are they? As the ball goes up, whether it's to Nordas or to Morris, there's 2, sometimes even 3 Watford players around them. So I mean, it's really tough for the forward players, and again, you've got to give a lot of credit to Watford, but Luton just have to find a way that they are to keep the ball. Even if, from a striker's point of view, if you've got players around you, somehow get that nudge and go down and win a free kick, and you're able to get the ball into the box with a long free kick off the back of that, but the ball just keeps on coming back, and Luton are chasing shadows at the moment.
Back with Loser, who always starts the bit of possession for Watford, builds the play really nicely for the Hornets. Tommy Deli Bashuri just in his own half, pushing the back from Walsh. Back with loser. Luton winless in their last 11 championship games, and they've won just 8 of their last 50 league games since the start of February last year. So that's what we're looking at in terms of their performance. Their fans have grown accustomed to watching their side lose. Watford 2 here, Luton 0. Chakvetadze dinks the ball forward looking for Ince. Cleared on the edge of the penalty area by Walters, who now has it again in his penalty area and just hooks it downfield up to big Nordas, but across comes Loser. Gets there ahead of the forward, driving forward down the left now, Loser, towards the corner flag. Good tracking back again from Messiah Jones. Those two battling out by the corner flag. Good battle, and it's out for a goal kick for Luton. Good play again from Jones.
Yeah, and he's done very well, by the way. He's been Luton's best player by a million miles so far. We just saw that kind of pretty much again summing up how the game's going. Walters doesn't feel comfortable. He's lacking in confidence, so he just knocks it up to the front man, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But it's so high that you've got Lasse Nordas battling with James Abankwah, and then Lucer just comes in and says, "I'll have it, thank you very much indeed." It just sums up the way the game's going at the moment.
Yes, the two players were so focused on the duel between them, they didn't actually notice that Lucer had nicked it and got the ball.
Yeah, exactly.
33 minutes played. Watford 2, Luton 0 here on TalkSport 2. Mari Bell playing left of a back 3, slides it forward to Asgard, young player that they signed from Wigan. He dribbles forward. He's been a player that Luton fans have been excited by since he joined.
He's a good player. He's definitely a good player, and you know, someone that Luton desperately need. It might not be enough, but he's definitely got a lot in him.
One back by Kayembe, surging forward. That goal, the second goal for Watford today, his 8th in the Championship, having a really good season. Out with Larousse on the left, whips the ball across the penalty area. Dombia gets there first with the header, but in leaning forward he could only head it wide of goal.
Yeah, good ball in, really good ball in. That's good movement actually from Doumbia, but it's good defending, I have to say. He's made sure he's not able to get a proper head on the ball, and then put enough pressure to say that it's going to be a goal kick. You know, it's tough, Flo. It's tough when you're 2-0 down away from home, you're bottom of the table, and you're against your biggest rivals right now. You know, they are showing character, they're not giving up, and that's something which, I mean, they shouldn't be anyway, of course they shouldn't, but they need to find a way to somehow get the ball down the other end and create some opportunities, because at the moment Selvic's not really being tested.
The ball is with Ngakia, the right back for Watford, just in front of his own penalty area. He hits a beautiful ball down into the channel for Ince. Ince will keep it in, but can't prevent it from going out for a throw-in. And it doesn't get easier for Luton as well. They've got 12 games left after this, 7 of which are against sides in the top half of the table, including Burnley away. No one wins at Turf Moor this season. And Leeds as well. So where are the points going to come from?
No one scores at Burnley.
Yeah,
yeah, and Leeds are going to win the title, not just get automatically promoted. I mean, you know, the Cardiff game I think is definitely one. Hull 2, but both of those are away from home. Portsmouth are doing really well at the moment from how the start they had. That's tough. When you're down there, honestly, every game just looks so tough. And yet when you're in a good vein of form, every game looks winnable.
9 minutes to go till half-time. Watford 2, Luton 0. Keban, the centre-half Watford, just a little sloppy, nearly gave the ball away to Nordas, but Watford still have it.
And that could be a problem, almost overconfidence.
Just as you say, overconfidence. Loser does a wonderful little trick to pass the ball around, but then Watford lose possession.
Yeah, well, no, I mean, Loser and Chakvetadze are, I feel, a Premier League quality. With the greatest respect, Kevin Keban isn't. And you're centre-half, and you if Loser wants to do a bit of skill, that's fine, as long as he's not in that sort of quarterback position in a centre-half and you're the last man. Kevin was there. Don't do it there, please. You're not good enough. Just keep it simple.
So
it was a good bit of skill, though.
It was a good bit of skill. Did you ever do that or not? Because you're a fullback, you can't risk it.
You try not to risk it. If you're a little bit further up the pitch, yes, you can. But again, when you're in your own half, and especially your final third, no, you don't do something like that.
Watford's goalkeeper, Selvik, just outside his own penalty area, passes it forward to Tom Ince, who's not played many minutes this season, but is looking pretty useful in the midfield for Watford so far. A long ball over for Larousse up against Walters, and the former Arsenal Academy player as well wins the ball and lays it off to Asai Jones. He lobs it downfield, headed on by Nordas to Carlton Morris. That's better from Luton. Can Carlton Morris make this stick in the attacking third? He has to dribble away though, waiting for the run of Jones down the right. Instead goes back to Marvellous Nakamba. He plays it square to Amari Bell in the left-hand channel now, with Doughty up against Ince. Up to Nordas on the edge of the penalty area. Turns well, but he had 2 yellow shirts around him and is dispossessed, and Keban then slips. Nordas is back in, and Keban then forces him down. And as you said, Scott, Keban having not the best 5 minutes.
Yeah, look, I'm not going to blame him for a slip, and that can happen. He wasn't trying to do anything flash there like he was a little bit earlier, but he did get up, and then again the temptation is to try and win the ball back so quickly, and he couldn't, and he's given away a free kick. And now we talked about with the class of Doughty and Walsh, how they can whip a really good ball in. Why give away that opportunity? Just stand up and let them go backwards again. So after a mistake, a slip that I'm not going to give him criticism for, I am going to criticise him for giving away the free kick.
Doughty and Walsh over this free kick, and Watford 2-0 up here against Luton. But as you mentioned earlier, Scott, the next goal could be pivotal. It always is in football games, and it seems daft to say, but at this scoreline it very much is. And it's left for Walsh. Walsh whips the ball in near post. Morris was there, but it doesn't go forward, so it's with Asgard now wide of the penalty area. He was pushed out. Doughty now crosses the ball in, again not cleared. Bit of a dodgy moment from Watford. They do manage to force it away. Doughty again storming down the left wing now. Plenty of white shirts in the box. Hangs it up towards the back post, and the header onto the roof of the net. Just a spell though from Watford where they were a little hesitant in their clearing of the ball. Luton growing into the game a touch.
Well, again, I think it's down to a little bit of overconfidence in Watford into how well it's going. You know, I talked about Kevin and what he did a little bit earlier. He's given away a free kick. It's a great ball in from Walsh, and if someone was able to get in front of, you know, the Watford defence, then I'm telling you now, Selvik would have had no chance whatsoever. So when you're 2-0 up against your big rivals who are bottom of the table, just don't give them anything. Be really, really solid at the back and keep doing what you're doing going forward.
5 minutes to go till the break. Watford 2, Luton 0. Ince now coming forward on the right, dribbling infield, finds Doumbia, and Chakratati's got loads of space out on the left. They don't pick him out. They go back and recycle possession. Ngakia now, the Watford right back, plays it infield to Deli Bashiri, the scorer of the first goal. He combines well with Loser, and then it's square to the scorer of the second goal, Kayembe. He picks out Larousse, who's going to go from range and blazes it well over the bar. Nothing to worry Kaminsky.
No, you're right. I mean, Chakratadze was free out on the left if someone was able to look up and see that. And I just feel that Asai Jones has done really well, but at times, even as a right wing back, he's coming in a lot, and there's a lot of space down on that left-hand side for Watford, the right-hand side for Luton. I mean, Larouche, he really should have played it back out to Chakratadze. He wasn't happy that he didn't get the ball. I understand why he's shooting for 25 yards out, but again, just keep that pressure on, give it to your best player and support him.
And there's been quite a bit of criticism from Luton fans about the back three. I heard it under when Rob Edwards was here, and I can see why the Luton Town fans are saying it. They do look, a couple of them, Walters, Asai Jones, like they're not quite sure where they're meant to be in that back three. There's a lot of gaps. Yeah,
there are, and that can be sort of both individual and also as a structure. You know, I do think, like, I like Alfred Doughty a lot. He's not an out-and-out, he's certainly not a full-back, and he's not an out-and-out winger really, although he can play in that role. I'm just not sure that they've got enough players in there to have a four. I mean, who would be the left-back there?
Tom Ince picks it up midway inside Luton half's town, then he knocked the ball forward and went to run past Mads Adson, who just had no eyes for the ball, just shoulder barge straight into the chest of Ince, brings him down, gets a yellow card, Mads Anderson, and it's a free kick for Watford right in the middle of the Luton half. And Anderson had to do that, really.
Yes, I mean, it was pretty blatant, wasn't it? You could see there was no way he was going to catch him. He would have gone past him. He said, no, I'm sorry, I'll take this one for the team. Got to be careful. Obviously, one mistimed tackle now and he's off. Luton cannot afford to go down to 10 men. They will not come back from that. But, again, you talked about, you're right, 2-0. If you get that next goal, then suddenly the complexion of the whole of the game just completely changes.
Watford free kick then. 3 minutes to go to the break. Watford leading Luton by 2-0. Chakvetadze lifts the ball forward. Dombia gets the header, but the whistle had gone already. The referee wanting to talk to Nordas and Kayembe. And I sometimes find this a bit frustrating, Scott Minto. The referee, don't let if it's a foul, blow a foul. Don't blow and make the free kick be taken again.
I've heard a lot of people say that. I think he's just trying to warn them. Yeah, absolutely. Next time, you've got to blow up for it.
If it's a foul, blow for it. Let's not keep retaking the free kick. But Watford will retake it. Chakvetadze does the same thing, lifts the ball towards the box. Asgard meets it for Luton, and it's then flicked out by Nordas. Out for a corner, though, and not a throw-in, which was perhaps not the best from Nordas. And now Watford are going to have to... Luton are going to have to defend the corner. And Imran Louza just jogging over to take the corner, just waving his arms to the Watford fans to try and get them up. They are loud here, but he just wants a bit more energy from them.
He's like a conductor, isn't he? Both on and off the pitch.
He's a fantastic player. He's really a real joy to watch. And he's going to take this corner. It's an out swinger. Again, Asgard met it well. Comes back, though, to Chakvetadze, who can control it first time. Edge of the box, trying to get away from a player. He's still got it. Going from range. Took a little bit of a nip and was watched all the way by Kaminsky. Goalkeeper for Luton. He bowls it out to Amari Bell, who slides it into the path of Doughty in the left-back position on the halfway line now, square to Walsh. He then in turn plays it into Nakamba, up to Asgard. 9 goals for Wigan in League One for Asgard, signed in January. Yet to score for Luton, but I think he hit the bar last time out, and he's looked like a good signing. Final 20 seconds of this first half. Amari Bell in possession for Luton in his own half. Runs forward with the ball. It's with marvellous Nakamba in the centre circle. He's got such a great name, you've got to say the full name, haven't you, with him?
Absolutely.
Love it. Asgard now, as the fourth official puts up the board. 2 minutes of stoppage time at the end of this first half. Walters out to Isaiah Jones, chalk on his boots on the right hand side. He's running at Kayembe. A couple of step overs, drive to the byline. His ball across, headed clear by Abankwah. Only so far as Walsh on the edge of the box, square to Bell. Dumbia tracking back and just a little overzealous from the young forward, and just draws a free kick. So a Luton free kick left of centre, just on the edge of the box, and just a little bit naive from the forward.
Absolutely. I mean, we saw it from Kevin just a little bit earlier, but we've seen it from Dumbia there. And again, you're just over 60 seconds and sitting at half time, being 2-0 up and having completely dominated this first half, and yet one bit of quality ball coming in and a goal, and again the half-time team talks just completely change. So it is again Doughty and Walsh over this free kick, as it has been every time they've had a free kick in the attacking third. It's a bit too wide, you'd think, for a shot, and the way they're shaping up looks like they're going to cross. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it again on the left-hand side. Walsh takes that, whips it in swinging. One of those where you try and whip it in.
Walsh with the effort, and he actually shot. It was a quick pass from Doughty. He's now back with Doughty, and he drives into the box past Tommins, whips it across goal, punched out well by Selvik. Corner for Luton.
Well, we said it was too far out for a shot. I mean, they did try to play it a little bit further forward, had a shot, but blocked down. I still think they would have been better to have whipped it in. It was a good cross from Alfie Doughty and a good punch out from Selvik.
And again, it's that pair of Doughty and Walsh over the corner. This time, they like this little move where they take a short free kick or a short corner, just passing it to each other and then going from there. It doesn't mean that they've got a player less in the box. Walsh, though, does just whip the corner in. It's headed out by LaRussi, and then the effort from Rain, from Jones, off a yellow shirt and out for another Luton corner, but the half-time whistle has gone. There's no time for that to be taken. So at the break, Watford lead by 2-0. They took the lead on the 11th minute, a penalty after Doumbia was taken down by Kaminski in the penalty area. Up stepped Tom Delibashuri, who calmly slotted that in. Watford then looked very comfortable and dominant. They took a second on the 23rd minute. Chakvetadze with a brilliant run into the box, squared it for Kayembe, who just knocked it in from a couple of yards out. Luton with a couple of efforts, a couple of half chances. Selvix looked comfortable though in the Watford goal. Half time here though at Vicarage Road. It's Watford 2, Luton Town 0, and it's hard, Scott Minto, to see how Luton come back into this.
It is, it really is. I mean, obviously they've got the likes of Elijah Adebayo and even Jacob Brown to come off the bench. But I can't blame Carlton Morris or Lasse Nordas for that first half performance. I think the game was won, or the first half was won in midfield. And we talked about, don't mess around and do tricks at the back. Well, how good is Imran Louza that he is able to do that? I mean, he's dominated it. It's been very clever play from Tom Cleverley. You can see what he's trying to do. He's pushing the full-backs on, almost becoming wing-backs, sometimes even wingers. Then Louza's just dropping in and being in that quarterback as the centre-half split. And he's just keeping the ball while all the time looking up for that ball over the top, whether it's to Ngakia or on the left-hand side, Larouci, or maybe even for Doumbia, who's making that channel runs as well. But once they get further forward, Chakvetadze gets on the ball, and I mean, he's just sensational, isn't he? And what a setup he made for that goal. Watford basically are bossing it, and they've been absolutely brilliant after the initial burst from Luton in the first couple of minutes, and it's going to be a tough team talk for Matt Bloomfield for sure.
Definitely is. You're listening to EFL Live here on TalkSport 2, where at half-time it is Watford 2, Luton 0. We have full second-half commentary to come very shortly, but we bring you more live and exclusive Championship action tomorrow night here on TalkSport 2 as Sheffield United hosts Leeds in a huge game at the top of the table. Sheffield United could leapfrog the leaders Leeds with a win at Bramall Lane, but their manager Chris Wilder isn't thinking about promotion just yet.
There's a quarter of the season to go. I was looking through it last night, in terms of the fixtures that we've got. We've got some huge challenges ahead. 30-odd points to play for. No teams are going to win 10, 11, 12. I'll be absolutely astounded if any team in our division wins the next 13 games. So, it's accumulation of points, and you look at sort of what you need to do to be successful, and I think we all understand it. Everybody talks about 2 points a game. We're on course to do that, and so are other teams on course to do that. So there's loads of games to go. If you were talking about second last game to the season, or third last game to the season, or fourth last game to the season, and you go, that's really swung it in the way of one team or the other, pushing them towards promotion or winning the division, I would understand that, but there's still an awful amount of football to be played, and consistency is the key for me in results. Of course, we want consistent performances, but we're on with the job. We're consistent. We're happy with where we are. We're comfortable in our own skin, and we'll just keep cracking on and head down.
Meanwhile, Leeds manager Daniel Farke will be in the stands for tomorrow's game as he serves a touchline ban. The club's owners, the 49ers Enterprise, have been linked with potential investment in Rangers, but Farke is solely focused on getting Leeds promoted back to the Premier League.
We have the chance here to create something really extraordinary in the history of this club. This club in the more than the last 20 years was just once able to promote back to the Premier League under Marcelo a few years ago, and this was during a season during Corona when no supporters were allowed. We have the chance right now, more or less the first time since 25 years, to promote back to the Premier League. And this is also the first time together with supporters. It would be a milestone in the history of this club. And there we don't have 1% to waste in thinking about other topics or other speculations or rumors. It's quite normal that in this business there are rumors or something like this. But my thoughts and the thoughts of the players and everyone here who is connected with Leeds United are just on we want to be successful, and we have a pretty privileged position right now with 72 points after 33 games, and my only focus is just this club. Our only focus is just this club, and also to find a way against a really, really good Sheffield United side with strong players, with a top manager, to find a way also to keep our momentum going, to win some points. And for that, I don't have 1% of energy to waste about speculation or about anything else. Don't distract us as all. Also doesn't distract us what happens at other clubs, because we want to create something really special here, and all our energy goes into that.
I always love listening to the dulcet tones of Daniel Farke. He's got a lovely voice, speaks very well. And a reminder as well, you can hear live and exclusive commentary of Sheffield United against Leeds here on TalkSport 2 tomorrow night, with our build-up getting underway at 7 p.m. ahead of 8 p.m. kick-off. Elsewhere, at the bottom of the table, Portsmouth moved further clear of the drop zone with their third win in a row after beating QPR. After the game, manager John Mousinho gave his reactions. TalkSport's Charlotte Richardson.
So to get the 3 wins, I think really important last week. We got that away win, so we just weren't relying on our home form. But obviously to come back here and to win the game was the most important thing, and real elements of the performance that were absolutely superb. So feels good. Yeah, there's still plenty of work to do. So the most important thing for us is to make sure that we know we haven't cracked it. There's still a huge amount of points to play for. We have to be on it every single minute of every day. That was the most important message going into the weekend. That we did well last week. We picked up 6 points. Good, but we've got to go again. We can't rest. Absolutely can't rest. There's just so much to play for in the Championship.
On the subject of confidence, 3 victories in a row at this level for the first time in a while. How much do you want to kind of bottle that confidence but still keep the players very rooted in the mission of climbing the table and continuing, I suppose, to make strides at this level?
I think that's the most important thing at any level of football, to make sure that you take the appropriate amount of confidence from winning games and be performing as well as we have done, but also just don't get carried away with ourselves. It's a real fine mix. We want confidence, but I don't want arrogance. I want us to go into every single game thinking we've got a right chance of winning that, and we need even more of that going into next week. We've got a very, very sort of tough week coming up. No rest up until that international break, and we've got to keep going with a load of confidence, but not tipping over onto the wrong side of it.
You're listening to EFL Live here on TalkSport 2, where at half-time it's Watford 2, Luton 0, and second half commentary comes next.
EFL Live on TalkSport 2 with McDonald's. Enjoy a tasty night in delivered to your door with McDelivery. 18 plus participating restaurants. Delivery fees and terms apply. See mcdonalds.com.
That's it. We need a bigger car.
Smart speaker. What's the best family SUV?
The Tucson has been named Auto Express Best Midsize SUV. Oh, they're nice. Loads of space.
Smart speaker. Search offers on a Hyundai Tucson.
The new Tucson comes with 2 years 0% APR. And it's Hyundai, by the way.
Discover the new Hyundai Tucson Hybrid. It's the dawn of a new Hyundai. Ends 31st of March. 25% deposit. Finance subject to status. Hyundai UK is a credit broker, not a lender. Terms apply.
Here, Sandra. Listen to this email. Felicitations and unalloyed joy to you. Could you help with a small inconvenience? I possess $32 million in an account belonging to my father, the Prince. We need an honest person to bank this amount for us. We're quits in, babe.
Some things are too good to be true. The Specsavers Too Good deal isn't. Get 2 pairs of glasses for £70. Include single vision lenses to the same prescription. Conditions apply. Ask in store for details.
Quits in.
This half term, don't miss Red Hulk smashing cinemas.
I want you to help me rebuild the Avengers.
Captain America Brave New World is the blockbuster event of the holiday.
I need Captain America.
You want me? Come and get me! Experience Captain America Brave New World in cinemas and IMAX now.
Where can you get the latest breaking sports news delivered with the laser-like accuracy of Michael Van Gogh? 1 hour and 80. And hear passionate opinions debated with the confident dexterity of Virgil van Dijk.
The Liverpool fans celebrate.
Answer on the radio show that's got the nation's sports fans buzzing like a Van de Graaff generator. Early breakfast with Shabana Hearn. Weekday mornings from 5 on TalkSport with Adrian Flux Van Insurance. Insurance for the individual. Search Adrian Flux Van Insurance to find out more.
Only one radio heavyweight brings you unbeatable, canvas-thumping coverage of the biggest bouts in world boxing. TalkSport. Go the distance with unparalleled ringside commentary of the biggest boxing showdowns.
Unbelievable stuff at the Manchester Arena!
With 2 tough-talking boxing shows, Fight Night and Fight Night Extra.
The fight starts now!
Plus, get total knockout content on our world-class boxing podcast and dedicated YouTube channel.
Swaggering, full of confidence.
Available now, and it's all for free. TalkSport and TalkSport 2, your home of boxing.
Hard-hitting football coverage.
He hits it first time, what a volley, what a goal!
Pushing the apex of live football. EFL Live on TalkSport 2.
Sits forward looking for Dombia, but Mads Anderson will just watch that through and let it go all the way through to the goalkeeper, who's come out and taken down Dombia, and Watford have a penalty.
Wow.
A hush around the stadium as Deli Bashiri steps up and slides it into the bottom corner to give Watford the lead here.
And that's a really well taken penalty for sure.
Jack Patate now storming towards the Luton goal in the penalty area. The defenders are backing off. He goes past the defender, squares it for Kayembe, who knocks it in for Watford's second.
If we didn't know about the talents of Jack Patate before today, then we certainly do now.
And we are a couple of minutes away from the second half here at Vicarage Road. Currently it's Watford 2, Luton 0. And alongside me, Scott Minto, former defender for Chelsea and many other sides as well. I want to talk a little bit about Luton. So ahead of this, Adrian Durham messaged me saying that he's been keeping an eye on Luton, and he's got a stat that they've won just 8 of their last 50 league games at the start of last February.
Don't say it was Adrian who gave you that stat. His head doesn't need to get any bigger. Yeah, exactly.
And they got rid of Rob Edwards. They've replaced him with Matt Bloomfield, who's yet to win as Luton Town manager. What's your take on why it's gone so wrong, and why Matt Bloomfield can't get a tune out this side?
Well, do you know what, Flo? I mean, you see it. You can go up as high as the biggest club in this country, Manchester United, and why has Ruben Amorim not done anything there? And if anything, looks like they've got worse. It's not an easy thing to do, to come in when the Titanic's heading towards that iceberg, and you can't just turn it around. Again, I go back to that stat is incredible, and they were the team of the promoted sides last season who got it to not the very last game, but close to, were the one team that took it the furthest. There's no way I saw anything like this happening, and obviously the likes of Ross Barkley going, Lokonga as well, that's a massive blow, but still there's enough good players on paper to say that there shouldn't have been a problem, and Rob Edwards will be taking this side back up, or at the very least top 6. I just wonder, the massive psychological blow of coming out of the Premier League, of playing with the big boys, of being on the sort of TV and superstars around the world, to suddenly going back into the Championship, where if you're not at it 100% of the time, it will find you out. And I just don't think they're as hungry as they were 2 years ago. Again, I've spoken to people, I've looked into it, there's no one standout reason as to why that's not been the case. So with Rob Edwards going, and obviously you could argue that maybe he should have gone a little bit earlier, but obviously for what he'd done for the club, I understand, and the fact he'd signed a new contract last summer as well. They wanted to try and give him as much time as possible. So for Matt to come in, who's not the most experienced, I think it's fair to say, managers out there, and this is a million miles from where his Wickham team was playing in terms of the style, but when you jump up a division, and obviously I think the biggest jump is from the Championship to the Premier League, but even from League One to the Championship, you realise actually when players are down there and they're lacking in confidence, to ask them to do sometimes simple things, they seemingly can't do it. Honestly, I've been there and I hear the likes of even, an Alan Shearer or something, they talk about the word confidence. When you haven't got it, you're a different player. When you have got it, you look absolutely brilliant. But this Luton side now, it's about character, and it has been about character for a long time. And unfortunately, it looks like not only have they not got the confidence, they probably haven't really got the character at the moment either. And we look at the fixtures coming on and we wonder whether this would be the perfect game for them to win. And okay, now we've beaten our big rivals and we can get off the bottom and we can get above that dotted line. This could go the other way. This could be a 4-0 loss. They could be absolutely hammered over 90 minutes, and things could be even worse. And again, we talked about those games where does the next points, let alone the next 3 points, come from? So I think it's a big second half coming up, and it does look like there are going to be some substitutions.
Yeah, it looks like Matt Bloomfield is going to make 3 changes at half-time, and I think what he'll be most worried about is they actually look quite good, Luton, against Plymouth. They arguably should have beaten Plymouth. They arguably should have got something against Sheffield United, but today they're not deserving of anything.
No, they were probably better, especially in that first half against Sheffield United, than they were against Plymouth, and they should have got all 3 points there. So, at least find a point against Sheffield United. There was confidence almost coming into this game, and yet the way they're playing at the moment, or have been in the first half, Watford have dominated them. They really have. So I'm not surprised to see changes being made at all.
And from a Watford perspective, they will be so gleeful consigning Luton to another defeat, and watching them maybe go down. Let me just quickly look at these changes then, just to get you across them. So I can see that Jacob Brown, Shandon Baptiste and Christ Makoso are coming on. Mads Anderson is coming off. He had a pretty difficult first half, arguably at fault for the penalty that they gave away. So he was trying to shield the ball back to his goalkeeper. Lasse Nordas is also off, so I suspect on for him that'll be Jacob Brown going up there. And then another change also for Watford. Let's have a look at that. So off comes Yasser Laroussi. He's replaced, like for like change, by young Ryan Andrews. So there's one Luton player that's come off that I've missed, Scott Minto. So we'll try and find out who that is.
We will. Give it a bit of time.
So changes for both sides then at
Did you mention Nakamba?
No, I didn't. There we go. That's the man off for Luton. Thank God you're here, Scott Minto. Too many substitutes are allowed these days.
I think Matt Bloomfield wished he could do more.
Change the whole starting 11. So, underway then. Watford in possession. They lead Luton here by 2-0. Jacob Brown, substitute on at half-time, dispossessed. And the ball's back with the Watford goalkeeper. And he's had a first touch already, which is a shame, because last game against Plymouth, he came on, Jacob Brown. First touch was a goal. Not so the case today. Carlton Morris now plays it back to Shandon Baptiste, another one of those Luton changes. On the ball again. So he's a player that they also brought in, because they have actually, we speak about money and signings, they have actually brought in quite a few players, Luton, especially in January. Isaiah Jones, Lasse Nordas, Theo Asgard, Josh Bowler, Cal Naismith, they're all players that they've brought in which are good championship level players.
Absolutely. And where perhaps Tom Cleverley can look up and say, well, you haven't really supported me there, I think Matt Bloomfield can certainly say, well, you have.
Asgard with the delivery into the box, claimed well by Selvik, the Watford goalkeeper, all in green. He bowls it out. And the forward ball from Watford down the line. Dombia with the header. So let me give you the Watford lineup then. So they made that one change. So it's Selvik, and then we've got a back four of Anderson, Keban, Abankwah and Gakia. Midfield, Loser, Ince, Deli Bashiri, and the front three of Kayembe, Chakpatadze and Dumbia. Luton are in possession. Long ball up for Carlton Morris. Jacob Brown runs onto it instead. He's in the penalty area up against Abankwah in his effort. Pushed out for a corner for Luton. Again, right-ish start for Luton as they trail Watford here by 2-0 on TalkSport 2.
Yeah, decent ball over the top there, and I thought Carlton Morris was going to get onto it, but Jacob Brown showed great pace getting into the box. It would have been difficult to try and have a shot from there, but he got the deflection, got the corner. I'll tell you what, Flo, if they were able to somehow conjure up a goal in the first 5 or 10 minutes of this second half, fans around here at Vicarage Road will get very, very nervous.
They certainly would. Ball comes in then. Headed clear by Dombia. 19-year-old forward from Mali. Luton go forward though, and Isaiah Jones just overruns it out for a goal kick for Watford. So let's go through the Luton Town 11 now that I've managed to get my head around it. In goal is Kaminski, back three Bell, and I think Shandon Baptiste is playing as a centre half. He's just unusual. He's usually a midfielder, isn't he?
Yeah, I think Makoso has gone in there.
Oh, is it Makoso in there? and alongside Walters and Bell. The wing-backs Doughty and Jones. Baptiste and Walsh in the middle with Asgard and then Brown and Morris. The front two, Scott Minto, is that correct?
Yeah.
Nice. So Watford 2, Luton Town 0. Luton in possession. And Luton in need of points. They are rock bottom on the Championship. Asgard down the left-hand side. He's looked bright. Plays into Shandon Baptiste. Signed from Brentford in the summer. So he's a player that's got Premier League experience. But as do a lot of these Luton Town players, and it's not helped them.
Honestly, I look at the players they've got, both in terms of 11 and as a squad, and you are left scratching your head.
That is the Championship, though, Scott, isn't it? And that's why we love the Championship, because it's such a hard league, and it's so hard to predict.
It is. I mean, I was part of the West Ham side that went down from the Premier League as part of the squad with 42 points. I think that will stay a record for a very long time, with the likes of Paolo Di Canio, Joey Cole, Mickey Carrick, Trevor Sinclair, David James. I could go on.
And yourself.
And myself. But, you know, sometimes when you're in a horrible moment, and you think, oh, do you know what, we'll be okay. And then game after game after game, you're not. And before you know it, you're at Christmas and past it, and you just can't get yourself out of it. I'm afraid that's the way Luton look at the moment.
I also saw, I think it was a tweet from a Luton Town fan saying that they've signed a League One manager in preparation for being in League One next season.
Slightly harsh. I mean, there's no doubt about what he did at Wycombe with the wage bill that they had there was sensational. But he's certainly finding it difficult to turn this around.
Luton coming forward there with Morris. Morris's ball across. And then the effort from Isaiah Jones. He met it brilliantly on the volley. Caught it so cleanly. Just couldn't keep it down. And that may be the best chance Luton have had in this game. Because we looked at half-time and they had 0 shots on target. That wasn't a shot on target, but it was close.
It's getting closer and closer. And, you know, again, you look at the stats, and the stats don't tell you everything, but no shots on target. I mean, what chance have you got of trying to get back in this game if you haven't even got a shot on target in the first half? But yeah, Isaiah Jones has done really well, I feel. He's certainly going forward. He's trying to get forward as much as possible and was pretty close with that volley.
Nice touch from Jones again there, just to touch it round the corner one time to Brown, who wins the free kick. So a free kick for Luton.
He's looked lively, Jacob Brown, since he's come on, hasn't he? Just in, even in the first few minutes. He's got inside into the box, sort of left side inside channel, had a shot, went out for a corner. He's just looked like he would have won a free kick there if it has been for that one rather than the Isaiah Jones foul. It's a good substitution, you have to say. I do feel sorry for Nordas. I don't think he did anything wrong, and he certainly wasn't given great quality, but just think Jacob Brown just adds that something else. Already he looks quicker and more direct and able to get in behind.
Problem here though for Watford, they've got a player down in need of a little bit of treatment. That gives me a chance to tell you about other Championship action coming up on TalkSport 2 Monday. Tomorrow, I keep forgetting that it's Sunday today, but tomorrow, Monday, is Sheffield United Leeds Championship live coverage, TalkSport 2, 8 p.m. And then we've got every Premier League game live across the TalkSport network this week. Games on Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday. For example, on Wednesday, Arsenal fresh from losing to West Ham up against Nottingham Forest at 7:30. That's live on TalkSport and TalkSport 2. Scott Minto, I believe you're at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium for Tottenham Manchester City. Talk exclusive Liverpool Newcastle and Manchester United Ipswich on the TalkSport app. They're all on Wednesday the 26th. Every Premier League game this week on the TalkSport network.
I am indeed. The West Ham Thursday as well.
Okay, so we're having a change then for Watford, and it is my distant cousin Scott Minto.
I was going to use those exact words.
Matty Pollock, come on and do the Pollocks proud. So Matty Pollock coming on for Keben, who looks like he might have picked up an injury. It's a worry for him in terms of he's missed a lot of the season through injury, but Matty Pollock is a man that's been having a very good season, and ahead of last game, he was the player that's played every game in the Championship. So he's an experienced player who's doing well. So it's not a massive blow for Watford in terms of that change.
No, I think we can definitely say they're not going to lose too much.
And that free kick that Luton had, Doughty just lofted it in, and it was collected by Selvik, a wasted chance. So 52 minutes played. Watford 2, Luton 0 here on TalkSport 2. Selvik hits the ball long downfield up for Shakpatadze. Walters gets the ball though, the young centre-half who came up through the academy at Arsenal. Back with Selvik now. Watford heading for a home win. They had a great home form at the start of the season, but they haven't actually won a home game in the last 5, so this would be the first in a while for them, and it would help them move up the table as well and keep their playoff ambitions alive. They're certainly not out of that. Those last couple of spaces in the playoffs wide open.
No, I'll go back to the start of the season and talk about, well, just make sure you don't get relegated.
Shakpatadze now on the march for Watford, dispossessed by Walsh on the edge of the Luton box. He goes up to Brown. Brown tries to play it first time around the corner. One back by Watford.
Yeah, and I don't think anyone really expected Watford to be where they are, even with the good start. Very good at home. They've got to try and get back to that winning form at home. They're certainly doing that today. But yeah, if they win today, the belief they can say they can go in there, can go under the radar. I mean, they won't be under the radar, obviously, with the owners. We know what they kind of demand, and if it doesn't look like they're going to be going up, then the manager will probably get the sack. But I think he's doing a great job, Tom Cleverley. I really do.
Ngakia, Watford's left back, up by the Luton Town penalty. Placing the Kayembe, he's doing some keep-ups in the Luton Town penalty box. Dribbles away from the 18-yard box, goes back to the corner where Shakpatadze is. He plays Kayembe in the penalty area now. Square to Loser with the effort. Tipped over by Kaminski. Lovely Watford move. Just a bit too comfortable though. They're just passing it around the Luton Town penalty area, and the Luton Town defenders just let them do it.
Well, they did, but it's really good 1-2 touch play from Watford, you have to say. And Kayembe gets in there and lays it inside, and actually he'll be disappointed. He's 8 yards out on his left foot.
It's not a save, is it, actually?
No, he's just got it over. He's just got under it. Probably the first touch, he didn't play it out quite enough, so it was a little bit under him, so he's ended up leaning back and got it over. But I mean, 3-0 kills the game for sure. I'm still not sure how Luton are going to come back into it, but that was a moment to finish off the game.
10 minutes into the second half. Watford 2, Luton 0. Asgard coming forward for Watford. A good couple of moments against Ben Andrews, though, who came on at half-time for Watford, and he's won the corner for his side. Really bright play from Asgard. Signed in January from Wigan, as I said, still looking for his first goal for Luton. Now would be a pretty apt time to get it. Again, that double team of Walsh and Doughty over for the corner. They take it short. Doughty lays it back off. It's now with Isaiah Jones on the corner of the Watford penalty area. Tries to dribble in. Loses it. Doughty, though, manages to get the ball across, and the header up. Keeper came and completely missed it. Carlton Morris then fouls Matty Pollock. Oh dear, there's a bit of afters between Pollock and Morris, but Pollock jogs away, I think, rather sensibly. I wouldn't fancy going up face to face with Carlton Morris, big man.
You know what? It'd be a good battle, that. Matty Pollock. He's a big lad himself. We know Carlton Morris can look after himself.
But another nearly moment for Luton. They're looking a little brighter in this second half, trailing by 2-0 here on TalkSport 2, and they are rock bottom of the Championship as things stand. As for Watford, though, they'd be 3 points off the playoffs if they saw this out. And they're in possession now. Ince, square to Kayembe in the Luton half. It's now out on the left wing with Shakpatadze. He's got 2 white shirts around him, tries to do a little trick, a little overconfident, as we said in the first half, out for a goal kick for Luton.
But I don't mind the trick there. That's okay. You're on the touchline, but it's not your touchline, it's Luton's, and you're trying to get past the player. So try something there, fine. Not your centre half when you're the last man.
Luton fire the ball forward up to Carlton Morris. Lovely flick on for Brown. Brown does well to get there ahead of Pollock to knock it on, and he wins the free kick. Pollock dived in, was a little late with the challenge. He gets into Andrew Kitchen's book for that one. So a yellow card for Matty Pollock, who's just come on.
He's had an eventful second half, hasn't he? You better have a word with your long-distance cousin.
I will after the game.
I played against your long-distance uncle, Jamie Pollock, his dad, back in the day.
Oh, of course, his dad played for Watford as well, right?
Middlesbrough. Well, amongst many other clubs.
There we go. So Luton with a free kick again, Doughty and Walsh over it. Highline this from Watford. They're about 10 yards out from the penalty box. So lifted over that line, headed a cross goal by Morris. Asgard was there. It just hit him on the top of the head. Caught well by Selvik, but they're getting opportunities, Luton, in the penalty area when they lift the ball in. They've got good deliveries from Doughty and Walsh, and they've got players in there that can win a header in Asgard, Brown and Carlton Morris.
Yeah, look, the bottom line is they're at least getting forward. They're getting balls into the box. They're still not able to trouble Selvik at the moment, but they are looking more dangerous.
Watford chance here, a long ball up, looking for Ince, cleared by Walters, who hoofs it away. Asgard and Loser then tumbling with each other. The free kick goes the way of Luton. Asgard going down, an arm out from Loser, who just looks at the referee and throws his hands up to say, what did I do wrong there? He might actually know what he did wrong there. High arm to the face. Doughty now, orange boots, plays it infield to Walsh. He's pushed in the back by Loser. Free kick again for Luton. The game a little scrappy, a little broken up.
Yeah, it is. And to be fair, Watford won't mind that. You know, Luton want to try and get it high tempo, make some mistakes, a little bit end to end. Watford are the team that's 2-0 up. They want it to be in control. And while I wouldn't say they're exactly in control, yeah, they won't mind it being a little bit scrappy like this.
Half an hour left of this game. Luton coming forward. Asai Jones, can he keep this in by the corner flag? Yes, he can. He's got lots of white shirts in the box to aim for, but he's blocked. He plays a wonderful pass to Shandon Baptiste, who whips it across goal, looking for Doughty at the back stick. Just a little over, hit the ball out for a throw-in. Luton Town just one away win this season. That was against Millwall. And they've conceded 34 goals in 16 away games. They conceded 2 here this afternoon to make that tally 36. And statistics like that just show you why they're bottom of the table, Scott.
Well, quite simply, you have to score 3 goals to win a game on average anyway. It's not been good enough. It's not... key players. Ross Parkley's a player I really, really like, and I thought he was excellent for Luton. It can't just be down to one player or just a couple just going. It's a collective thing to be this bad from where they were that good last season, considering, where they've come from.
Asgard now on the ball for Luton, left of the penalty area. Brings it back onto his right foot, plays it down the line for Doughty, just overhits it there, out for goal kick for Watford. Selvik to take, who's not really had too much to do, claimed a couple of crosses, punched out a few balls across as well. He's going to allow Matty Pollock to take the goal kick, takes it short back to his goalkeeper. Carlton Morris runs into the box, and Watford even played around nicely up to Ince. Watford as well missing Sissoko this afternoon, and there was quite a lot of chat ahead of the game around the physicality that Luton bring, and can Watford match that, especially if they're missing Sissoko. Well, man for man, they've won their battles.
They have, and when you think about what happened in the reverse fixture, where Luton were they weren't overly physical, but there's no doubt about it, Watford couldn't handle them. I haven't seen anything like that from Luton today, have we? And Watford have been able to play their game and get the ball down and not worry about the physical aspect.
Luton in possession. It's with Makoso out to Jones on this right hand side in front of where we're sitting. He's driving in field past quite a few yellow shots, goes down under a challenge, no free kick, and the referee Andrew Kitchen ran over to him and then waved his hand and said no free kick. Felt a little bit like he was taunting him.
You know what it was, isn't it? It's one thing to not blow your whistle. It's another thing to run over to him when he's on the floor and put both hands as if like, no.
Very dramatic.
It's like it's your 3-year-old on the floor, isn't it?
Luton have the ball back though, and it is with Jones now out on this right-hand side. He thinks it back.
And I think Jones has been really good. I'm just about to use the word brilliant. I'll go a little bit short of that, but considering again the psychological place of where they are right now, for him to continually trying to bomb on down the right-hand side, trying to continually start something, even if it's him on his own, like he went there. I actually think he should have got a foul there, but he's not giving up, and I like that. If something is going to happen from Luton, you get the feeling it's going to come down this right-hand side and the cross will come in.
And I think there's something in what you said about the players from last season back in the Championship and no longer in the Premier League, and they're kind of low from that and the psychological effect. And if you look at the players that are doing well for Luton, it's ones that they've brought in, new ones. As Watford come surging forward, really good play by Makoso, just shielded it back to his goalkeeper. But as we said, Norda's looked pretty good. Jones is looking good, and he's on the ball now on the right. Whips the ball and takes a nick off the back of Ngaki, and it's saved by Selvik.
Yeah, he's not been sort of beaten down, has he, by what's happened all season and these players. And look, hindsight's a wonderful thing, but I mean, who's going to say at the end of last season that you need to get rid of half the team that have done so well and very nearly stayed up in the Premier League? But as I say, that I just think if you're not absolutely at it in every single way, mentally, physically, psychologically, as well as tactically, then the Championship finds you out.
25 minutes remaining here. Watford 2, Luton 0. 2 goals in the first half. And there's something to be said as well for Sheffield United and Burnley. They both changed managers at the start of the season. I know that Burnley perhaps didn't want to, but a fresh start can sometimes be advantageous.
I think Chrissy Wilder, he saw what happened at the end of the last season, and he knows that club so well. He's done so well.
Watford dink the ball in the box. Jacob Brown really putting himself about in between two Watford centre-halves, and it goes through for Selvik. As we said, Jacob Brown looking a bit of a handful up front. He's made a little bit of a difference.
He has, and again, I think Nordas is going to be a decent acquisition for Luton, but Jacob Brown just adds something different. He looks to try and go in behind all the time, whereas with Carlton Morris and Nordas, it looked like they were wanting the ball to feet or to the chest all the time, and there was no real threat in behind. Brown's adding that now.
Selvik hits it long, looking for Dombia. Picked up well by Alfie Dougherty, out for a throw-in for Luton. Reminder, we've got Championship action on Monday, 8 p.m. Sheffield United Leeds. Two sides battling at the top of the Championship. Live coverage of that. 8 p.m. tomorrow, TalkSport 2. Watford fans enjoying what they're seeing here at Vicarage Road. Their side winning by 2-0. The Luton fans all standing with their arms folded to our right. Been a miserable day for them in what's been a pretty miserable season overall. And there might have to be a change here for Luton. I can see Matt Bloomfield just looking on as the physios come on. And Matt Bloomfield yet to win as Luton Town manager. Appointed January the 14th. Coming into this, his record was played 8, drawn 3, lost 4. And he looked like he just started to find a bit of a tune out of these players the past couple of games. But this could be a real blow for him, and it must be really hard for him as a manager coming in at this stage, not getting that you often talk about the new manager bounce, but they've not really bloomed under him, have they?
Oh, I like it. No, they haven't. And but what I would say is I think Luton are a club from what's happened in their past that they're not going to. Well, I think you've got two complete contrasts here, aren't you, with Watford and Luton. So even if Luton do go down, and at this moment in time it does look like they're going to, you're not going to turn around and say, well, I'm sorry, Matt, you didn't keep us up, we're going to get someone else in. I think it's absolutely a long-term acquisition. I think Matt's learning all the time. I think he's learning as a manager. He's also learning about Luton as a club. He's learning about the players. I think what we've seen in the January window is that, with what happened last season, the fact that they can't seem to snap themselves out of it, new players need to come in and needs to be a turnover. Players who have done very well for this club perhaps need to be moved on, and others need to be brought in, and you go again. It does look like it could be in League One, but when you think about where Luton have been, and not that long ago, you know, of course it's a really bad thing, but it's not quite a disaster. You know, they've had bigger things off the field as well as on the field to deal with than this, and I'm sure they'll bounce back.
Yeah, we see a lot of big clubs, you know, getting relegated from the Championship. Portsmouth were in League One for a couple of seasons. They're a massive club.
Well, my Charlton are still down there and in League One. It's not easy to get out of, but my point is, and they're not down, not yet, but my point is, I think Luton have come so far in such a short space of time that the fans and the club and everybody, they are all as one, and they will stick together.
Can they find the next goal to get them back in this? They're trailing Watford by 2-0. 68 minutes played. Up to Jacob Brown, plays a nice 1-2 with Isaiah Jones, edge of the penalty area, whips the ball across. Matty Pollock met it and volleys it out, collected by Isaiah Jones. Wonderful touch outside of his foot in the air to bring it down under control. Walters now back into Jones, lots of white shirts in the box, plays it square instead to Walsh. Walsh goes back to Walters. All the players in the Watford half, even the ball across, headed out by Pollock. Now with Asgard, 25 yards from goal, centre of the pitch, dinks it into Carlton Morris, back to goal, plays it square, and the effort from Brown off a Watford player, out for a Luton corner. Luton have done better in this second half, but can they find an equaliser? And they're going to have to do that without Shandon Baptiste, who came on at half time but is injured. I think he's going to make way. Instead, coming on is number 47, Josh Bowler.
Yes, I mean, it's the last thing, you know, certainly that the player would have wanted, but the manager as well. Well, you know, what I would say is, again, it's an opportunity for Josh Bowler, and with 20 minutes to go, Luton had been much better. I think Watford have just sat back a little bit because they've got that 2-goal lead. And Luton, while they've not been creating any clear-cut chances, have been much better in the second half, and they were to score. As I say, it would make this Vicarage Road crowd very nervous indeed, and that will emit to the players.
20 minutes remaining then. Luton corner. Doughty, good flat delivery and caught really well by Selvik. Just strong hands. He's a real safe pair of hands in goal for Watford. Daniel Bachmann out with injury. They brought Selvik in, and he's been impressive.
He's been good. He's been very good. Still early days, but what you've seen of him so far is he looks solid in what has been a problem position really for Watford. So it's exactly what you needed. Can't begin to say. I think it's a very underrated position, being a goalkeeper.
Deli Bashiri just trying to dribble it out of his own penalty area. Hits off a white shirt, out for a goal kick for Watford.
Don't mess with it in there. Again, you know, ball's being played into him as a central midfielder inside his own box with someone marking him. Just needs one bit of mistake and they're through on goal, and then suddenly it's 2-1, and no, don't give him any chances at all.
Long ball up from Selvik. KMB can't head it on. Chakvetadze chests it down, keeps it just about in. One back well by Isaiah Jones, who's then fouled by Chakvetadze. Free kick Luton on the halfway line, right in front of Tom Cleverley and Matt Bloomfield, who have both been anxiously walking around their technical areas all game, neither of them sitting down. I suspect, well, quite an obvious point, but I suspect Tom Cleverley will be the happier of the managers at the moment, getting a tune out of his Watford side, getting back to what would be 2 wins on the bounce if they see this out. The forward ball from Luton, a free kick for Watford.
Yeah, I think Imran Louza's just trying to get on the ball now, and I think he needs to do that a little bit more. He was doing it in the first half. They were dominating the possession and the tempo of the game as well, and that was coming from him. And in the second half, he hasn't done that so much. So fair play to Luton for that, but you know, they are the team that's 2-0 down that does need to chase it, so they have to do it.
Free kick for Watford. Abankwah, the Watford centre-half, tried to dribble it away from his own goal. Bit of a lunging challenge from Carlton Morris. It looks like he's hurt Abankwah, and it's a yellow card for Luton's captain Carlton Morris. And Abankwah looks in some discomfort.
Yeah, he does. Again, when you got your centre half trying to do little pivots there in almost the left back area, let me tell you, big strong centre forwards don't like it.
Carlton Morris in the book.
Yeah, look, it was definitely a foul. I think he's caught him. I don't think he's quite meaning to catch him, for him to be down this long, which is a shame. And Carlton Morris just sort of arguing the referee even now, saying that, yeah, it's a foul, but let's see how you can give a yellow card for that.
Carlton Morris then, 7 goals in the Championship this season. He got 11 last season in the Prem and 20 before in the Championship season before. But it's not been a good season for him, has it?
No.
What's going wrong there with him?
Well,
he looks so good in the Prem.
Yeah, and he's had a few injuries as well. But no, it feels a bit harsh to single one person out, because you can say that about everybody. I mean, you tell me one person who has done really well this season, over the whole season. That's why Luton Town are bottom of the Championship, where, again, I was thinking out of the 3 relegated clubs, they would be the closest to going back up again. I mean, it's one thing to not be in the top 2 or maybe even the top 6 after relegation. It's another thing, Flo, to be bottom of the Championship, and again, we're looking at it here. They're not giving up, they're trying to show character, but they're just not good enough at the moment, and we're walking away. Probably it's going to be 3 points for Watford. It's going to be another defeat for Luton, unless something special can happen. And you go from game to game to game, and you look at them all, and you just came out with a stat about how difficult the remaining games are. Something special is going to happen for Luton to not be relegated.
That's the voice of Scott Minto, former Chelsea defender. You're listening to Watford versus Luton in the EFL Championship, live on TalkSport 2. Watford have the ball in the Luton penalty box from a long ball. Dumbia out by the corner of the penalty box, hits it back to Kayembe, picked up by Ince. Watford intricate passing around the edge of the Luton 18-yard box. Deli Bashiri now out to the right flank. Plenty of Watford players in the box. If Andrews can pick out a ball, he can't. And as he tried to get towards the ball, Doherty hauled him back right in front of all the Watford players. Free kick for Watford, basically from a corner position. And that's good for Watford, because they've been under a little bit of pressure from Luton, so they've broken the game up and they've got an opportunity to lift the ball in the penalty box. Yeah, I think you're right. I think territorially the last 10-15 minutes have been spent more in Watford's half than Luton's, and where they were dominating in the first half, been pretty much on the back foot, reasonably comfortable still. Selvik not having to make too many changes, but they do want to try and get the ball down the other end. So yes, they'll take their time here. They'll hope that they can get that 3rd goal, which will 100% kill the game off. But you're right, they do need to get the ball a little bit further forward now. Watford fans here at Vicarage Road trying to get behind their side. I can see the mascot, the Hornet mascot, out by the corner flag as well, conducting the fans, trying to get them up. It's Imran Louza over this free kick. He dinks it in. Jack Vatadze can't reach it ahead of Jacob Brown, who now dribbles forward for Luton. Luton on the counter. Jacob Brown over the halfway line, slides it into the path of Walsh. Great defending by Tom Ince. Got back and just slid in before Walsh could get there. Halted that promising counter, out for a Luton throw-in.
Well, I don't know why they're trying to play some kind of flash free kick that goes to the far post, because people are going to be able to read it, and then there's a possibility of a counter-attack. But well done, Tom Ince. My goodness, that was brilliant. That's not something that's in his DNA to track back in the way that he did there. But if he hadn't have done, then Luton would have possibly had an opportunity for 1-on-1 on goal. And that would have made the last 15 minutes interesting. So really poor decision to try and play a high tariff free kick down one end. But well done, Tom Ince, down the other.
Watford with some changes incoming. They were about to bring on Vakun Bayo, but a Watford defender, and they are in fact bringing him on. We're going to make another change as well because there's a Watford player down. So Vakun Bayo back from suspension. He saw red against Norwich, had to miss 3 games with suspension. He comes on for Dombia, who gets a really big applause from the Watford players. He started every game with Bayo being out. He's not scored, but he's done a real good job of holding the ball up for Watford. And I think the Watford fans have really appreciated what he's done, the young teenager.
Yeah, he is still very young. what was it, 19 last week? He's got a lot of potential. He's got a lot of talent. He can hold the ball up. He can be that sort of physical battering ram at times. He can run the channels. And as he gets older and older, he'll only get better and better and understand, have even more of a football intelligence. So, yeah, he's got great potential.
And Abankwah has been unable to shake off that challenge from Carlton Morris. So he also comes off injured and Serralta comes in to replace him. So Watford have had to change both their centre-halves through injury. That might be a bit of a concern, but Serralta and Matty Pollock are both very experienced centre-halves.
So windy here. I'm trying to write it down, and the paper keeps on coming up all the time. I need three hands here.
You're listening here to Watford versus Luton in the EFL, live on TalkSport 2 with McDonald's. Enjoy a tasty night in, delivered to your door with Mick Delivery. Watford 2, Luton 0. Walters for Luton has it, plays it into Bowler. He's back with Amari Bell, so Luton have the ball in the Watford half. Now to Carlton Morris, who's come out of the penalty area to the edge of the box to get the ball. He goes down under a challenge from Andrews, and it is a free kick for Luton. Left flank, about 25 yards out. Another chance for them to get the ball in the penalty area. Test those new centre-halves that just come on.
Absolutely. And again, I'm looking at the clock, 79 minutes. There's time. There is time, and you wouldn't believe that if Luton can come away and make it 2-2, you walk away thinking, well, how did that happen? Well, who cares if you're a Luton Town fan or player? But you need that first goal. And what a great opportunity in a dangerous position. We said in the first half we didn't think that they would shoot, but it's not a dissimilar position now, is it? I still feel that the ball will be whipped in here, but if the ball's good, and the flick-on's good, and it goes in the goal, we have a game on our hands.
The problem is, though, for Luton, is they've scored the joint fewest goals in the Championship, so goals have been hard to come by. As Doughty whips the ball in, goes across, and it's collected by a Luton player. Kayembe clears, though, nicks it off from the pass, launches it downfield, and Kaminsky will dribble over and collects the ball for the throw-in. He's going to trot back and go. He's not going to take the throw-in. Leaves it for Walters. Young player. Was offered another contract at Arsenal. He was in the academy there. Didn't take it. Wanted to play first-team football. Came to Luton to do that. He throws it downfield. It's headed on by Brown. Pollock and Morris battling. Pollock wins it forward now for Vakun Bayo, the substitute. Great touch from him initially, but then it's good defending from Makoso, and it's back now with the Luton goalkeeper. So Bayo back from suspension. He's got 10 goals in the Championship. He's their top goal scorer this season for Watford. But they'll have to do some defending right now. Isaiah Jones knocks the ball past Serralta. He's got Ngakia alongside him. Wide of the penalty area, Ngakia wins it off him though really well. Passes it forward to Deli Bashiri. His pass forward cut out by Walsh. Walsh loses it to Chakbatadze, who's brought down by Walters. And Watford were on the counter and the referee didn't quite spot it and already given the free kick rather than playing the advantage. I think Watford would have wanted to play on.
Oh, if only the referee, Andrew Kitchen, had the vision that Imran Louza has. Because he saw that straight away. As the player went down, he ran towards it and whipped the ball over the top for Ryan Andrews to try and run onto. Unfortunately, the ref didn't have the same amount of vision.
9 minutes remaining. Watford 2, Luton 0 here on TalkSport 2. Loser fires the ball forward looking for Tom Ince. Out comes Kaminsky. It wasn't a bad idea. He bowls it out to Doughty. White shirt, socks and shorts with the bright orange boots and the blonde lid. Player really impressed in the Premier League, Doughty. Number of assists that he got will be... I'd be surprised if he was playing... If Luton are demoted, I'd be surprised if he was playing in League One next season. He's a quality player when it comes to delivering. He delivers a ball forward looking for Brown. Andrews meets it and heads it away from Watford's box. It's collected though by Walsh. Walsh square to Walters. Out now. Luton have switched it to this right hand side. Jones up to Carlton Morris, back to goal, and Serralta comes out, wins it back for Watford. Good play from him. Then fired forward looking for Bayo, and Makoso nearly letting Bayo in, but he did well there, the young centre half. He then hits the ball long looking for Jones, who is able to keep the ball in. Great work from him, applauded by the Luton Town fans. Across the face of goal and knocked out by Serralta for a corner for Luton.
Well, Makusu will make us believe that he was playing like Rio Ferdinand, but he got a little bit lucky there. But there's a decent ball out wide, and again Jones making sure he gets there first, whipping the ball in. Good defending from Watford, but they're under pressure.
Luton Town corner. Doughty, 2 hands in the air to signal the routine. Whips a in-swinger, punched well by Selvik. Walters on the edge of the box. I think he had half in his mind to shoot and half to cross, and he ended up doing neither and just kind of span up and out for a goal kick.
Flo, that was a shot, and you got your centre half on his left foot as the ball's bouncing quickly to him. I mean, that would have been the technique of all techniques if that had gone top corner from 25 yards out. Don't shoot from there, my goodness me.
Change then from Luton. Off comes captain Carlton Morris. He's given the armband off to, I think, Doughty. It's hard to see from here. But on comes Adebayo anyway. His last goal, 10th of December, the win against Stoke. Saw a stat as well on FOTMob saying that he's missed the most big chances in the Championship. He's just not really had his shooting boots on this season. Just 5 goals in the Championship, but can he come up with one now as the ball's hit forward towards the Watford box? Serralta meets it. His header finds Loser. Falls kindly there for Asgard on the edge of the box. Into Bowler on the edge of the D. He tried to play it into Isaiah Jones. Good defending though from Ngakia. And then Chakvetadze plays it back to the Watford left back. He hits it forward up to Vakunbayo. He's fouled there by Walsh. Cynical challenge. Just put a leg across him, tripping the Ivorian, and it's a free kick for Watford.
Well, dare I say, that's actually a good foul to give away, because Bayo had a great touch. They got a little bit lucky with some of the touches there, Watford, but Bayo's first touch was really good, and if he'd have been able to look up, Tom Ince was in. Just a ball play in behind, and he would have been able to run on and maybe have a one-on-one with Kaminsky as well, so not a bad foul to give away.
And Imran Loser just taking a little bit of time. Just went down with a bit of an injury. Just slowing the game down. We've got 5 minutes left. All the stewards are now coming out to line up around the pitch, and I suspect near the Luton Town fans, perhaps with the anticipation of trouble. That's what they always do there, the stewards. Was ready to counteract that. 5 minutes remaining. Still Watford 2, Luton 0. The goals in the first half from Deli Bashiri and Kayembe, and it's Watford in possession in the Luton half with Loser, who's wearing the captain's armband. Plays it out to Andrews, the right back for Watford. He goes back to Matty Pollock on the halfway line. Watford just trying to keep the ball now, take the sting out of this game, just see it out, get the 3 points. Ngakia back to Serralta, and he goes all the way back to Selvik. 2 Luton Town forwards trying to put the pressure on, but it's an easy pass up to Pollock. Up to Kayembe, midway inside Watford's own half, and they play it back to Selvik. This is good.
Right, this is really good. This is really what they should have been doing beforehand, about trying to keep the ball, game management, get the tempo to be either scrappy or just slow, not high intensity in the way that Luton wanted. And now, yeah, and fair play to Selvik again. We talked about him, it's still early days, but he's looking really comfortable, not just with his hands but with his feet. At times he's looked very composed, and then when he's needed to knock it long, he's done just that.
And he's done just that up to Vakunbayo. Really good ball. Chakvetadze now driving towards the Luton penalty area. He's got players left and right, goes for goal, stings the palms of Kaminsky. I tell you what though, Tommins looked fuming because he was putting his arms out saying, play it through to me, I was free. Chakvetadze took the shot. It was a good effort, but a save that you'd expect Kaminsky to make, and he does.
Yeah, I think once he took the extra touch, Chakvetadze, then he kind of had to shoot because he was in the better position than Tom Ince. Tom Ince can have a go, he didn't give it to me initially. And once he was there, he's in front of goal, 18 yards out, maybe 20. I tell you what, I don't know how many passes they had, but there must have been well over 20 passes from back to front.
A really good, well-worked Watford move, and it's got them a corner now. Loser plays it in at the front post. Matty Pollock tries to flick it on. It goes off a white shirt. Another corner. And I think it's Walsh who maybe got a boot in the head. He went for the low header, and I think Pollock might have caught him. Bit of a painful one for the Town midfielder. Another Watford corner, and the Watford fans behind that goal that they're attacking. Big yellow and black flag waving. They're all on their feet, clapping, drinking this in. Loser lifts the ball in towards the back stick, and then Tommins fell for him beautifully in the box, and he had a shot. Dribbles left of the post.
But the ball is where Watford want it to be, and that's in the Luton half. And just in the last couple of minutes, I think Watford have taken back control of it. You know, look, Luton have given it their all in the second half. Matt Bloomfield has made changes. I think the changes have been good ones, but they're ultimately just not good enough. They're not creating enough chances. Still only one shot on goal as we come towards the 89th minute.
Watford 2, Luton 0, and a Watford move breaks down. Long ball out of play, and Josh Bowler just looks back at his teammate that made that pass, just really frustrated. Man on loan from Nottingham Forest, got gloves on, little hairband for his long flowing hair. Nothing is just working out for Luton at the moment.
No, I think it's fair to say.
A minute remaining. Doughty lofts the ball up forward towards Adebayo. Free kick though for a late challenge on Doughty.
I almost feel like I should have brought my gloves.
It is a bit chilly, isn't it?
It's a bit.
I've got my long Arsene Wenger coat on, but
I've noticed that. Yeah, I don't need the hairband though. My hair's not that long.
Free kick for Luton. Kaminski over it. It's in Luton's half, just 10 yards inside all the players in the Watford half though. Watford playing a really high line for this, and their keeper Selvik on the penalty spot. So trying to prevent the ball from being lifted into the box in this way. A couple of the Luton Town players starting in an offside position. They'll drift back onside. Kaminski plays it forward. It's not the best ball. Serralta meets the header, and Watford will try and break now. Chakbatadze square to Andrews. Andrews with a diagonal ball up to Bayo. Beautiful touch out the air. One exchanged it with Kayembe. Kayembe's ball forward back though isn't a great one, and Makoso will clear for Luton Town, and the fourth official has just put up the board. 6 minutes of stoppage time at the end of this game. 6 minutes for Luton to find what would be needed, which is 2 goals. They trail here by 2-0. Walsh in the centre circle for Luton. Brings the ball forward. All the yellow shirts of Watford retreat. Plays a square ball to Bowler. Forward to Adebayo, and it's a poor touch from the forward. Just went under his studs. It's back with Luton, but he does not look like a man in confidence, in form at the moment. Adebayo.
Well, you wouldn't have thought, would you, not that long ago, that if a new striker comes in, he'd be the one being dropped. A really good season in the Premier League. And again, one of many who struggled big time in the Championship.
Can Tommins keep this ball on the right-hand side? Yes, he can, in front of the Watford players. Watford fans even. He goes back to Kayembe, who smartly plays it back to Andrews, and this is what Watford need to do now. Just hold on to the ball, and their fans are cheering every pass they make, mocking the Luton Town players and the Luton fans that are standing glumly to my right. Deli Bashiri now picks it up, the scorer of the first goal from the penalty spot in the first half. One back though by Luton, and it's now with Isaiah Jones. He goes forward and then runs straight into Ngakia. It's smart play from Ngakia. Free kick given to Watford as well. Smart play there for Ngakia. He just ran across the path of Isaiah Jones and slowed down, so he's not fouling him because he's in front of the man, but he is just preventing him from getting there.
Well, he's made sure he's got across, and he's made sure Jones can't get in behind. Let's say it's very clever defending, and obviously he's had to come over to the left-hand side with Andrews coming on. I think he's dealt with that okay. I think Isaiah Jones has been by far and away Luton's best player, and you could argue him one of the man of the match, really. You can still have a man of the match and be on the losing side, but No, it was good defending there from the fullback.
3 minutes of the 6th stoppage remaining. The Watford fans are taunting Luton here, singing Luton get battered everywhere they go. Tough time to be a Luton Town fan. Fair play to the fans that have come out to this one. It's been a miserable day for them as Asgard travels over the halfway line for Luton. He's got Doughty to his left, still going, he's unchallenged. Losers just standing in front of him, jockeying back. Asgard then whips the ball in, out by Pollock, collected by Walsh. Forward to Doughty, really nice touch. Doughty on the edge of the box, finds Adebayo, wide of the goal, he gets it across and Pollock clears again. Adebayo now out with Loser. Goes out for a Luton throw and he takes it quickly to Walsh. They've got white shirts in the penalty area and this ball is put in towards Isaiah Jones. Great goalkeeping from Selvik. Jones met it at the back stick with a volley, but out came Selvik, big, put his hands up and just blocked that effort from Isaiah Jones. As the free kick goes Watford's way. Really good save right at the end there.
Yeah, it was really good. It was a great ball to the far post and I'm thinking, I'm not sure that's going to get there, and it did. Again, Jones, how does he get into that position? He's almost in the 6-yard box there. And Selvik, because he's made himself so big, a good touch from Jones. Couldn't quite tell whether it was going on target or not because Selvik just really good goalkeeping. Came out very quickly, made that good save. And in the end, Chakvetadze won the foul. And now we're literally just, less than 2 minutes away. And Luton aren't coming back from this.
They are not. Luton will be bottom of the Championship at the end of today, and they are running out of games. 12 games left. Next they've got Portsmouth at home, and that'll be a big game. Then they've got Burnley away. Currently rock bottom of the Championship, 28 points. Above them by a place is Derby with 29. In the other relegation spot, Plymouth with 30. You've then got Cardiff and Hull both on 33, Stoke on 35, Oxford United on 38. So it looks like it'll be those, and perhaps Portsmouth as well on 39, that'll be battling to stay in the Championship. Change here as well because Chakvetadze looks like he might have hurt himself. On comes Morris to replace him, but this doesn't look good from Chakvetadze. I didn't quite see what happened when he won the foul, but he's down on his side. Physio just giving him a couple of pats on the shoulder. I'm not sure if that's emotional support to help him.
No, it was very innocuous, wasn't it? Because it was, the foul was actually Isaiah Jones just kind of pulling his shirt. So the only thing I can think of is that somehow as he's come away from that, he's twisted his knee. Maybe jarred his knee. Can't quite tell because there's two physios around him what part of the body it actually is, but it's something Watford fans do not want to see. And at this stage of the game, with the game pretty much won, just come off. I don't think there's a choice there. He's really gingerly walking off the pitch, isn't he?
Yeah, he's got his arms around the two physios to help him walk off, and I think it might be his left knee and the way that he's limping. And we'll ask Tom Cleverley about that in the post-match because he's such a crucial player for them, Georgie Chakvetadze.
He's massive, and let's just say, let's go for it and say that Watford get into the playoffs and go up. I mean, there's going to have to be a big turnaround of players, but he's not one of them. He'll be the start.
Long ball for Brown here for Luton. He's on the edge of the box, wide up against Ngakia. Gets the ball across, out for a goal kick. No, it's not kept in by Andrews. We've played the 6 minutes of additional time. Suspect we'll have about 2 more because of that stoppage with the Chakvetadze injury. Watford 2, Luton 0 here on TalkSport 2. This will be back-to-back wins for Tom Cleverley's side. Up next for them, they've got Stoke on Saturday and then Millwall at home the Saturday after that. And they build up momentum in this key run-in and get a playoff spot. That's what these Watford fans are hoping as the long ball from Watford goes out for a Luton goal kick. And I can see all the Watford fans behind that goal with the black, red, yellow flags waving. They have won this derby here. A day to celebrate revenge for that 3-0 loss at Kenilworth Road earlier in October. That's all they care about today, beating their rivals, and it's a miserable day for Luton Town fans.
Yeah, it's a double for Watford, isn't it? Win the game, keep your rivals bottom of the Championship, and actually you get ever closer to the playoff places.
Yeah, all upside for Watford, all downside for Luton Town. Ball in the gloves of Selvik, and there is the full-time whistle then. Back-to-back wins for Tom Cleverley's Watford to help them climb a little further up the table, edge towards those playoff places. Another loss for Matt Bloomfield's Luton Town, who are rock bottom of the Championship. The goals in the first half, a penalty converted by Tom Deli Bashiri. Second goal from Kayembe after a great bit of work, running and skill from Chak Batadze. The Watford fans are loving this here at Vicarage Road. They're in full voice. The Luton fans watching on despairingly. And Scott Minto, I suspect a lot of those Luton Town fans are thinking, we might not be playing Watford next season because we might be in League One.
Absolutely. It's just so difficult to see. You know, I went to Luton quite a few times last season in the Premier League, and you're sort of thinking this is what the Premier League is all about. A smaller team coming up, you know, really giving themselves a fantastic chance. Just fell at the last hurdle or so in the end, but you know, you get the feeling they'll bounce back. My goodness me, when you said to me they wouldn't be in the Championship next season, the following season, you'll be thinking that's because they get promoted again, not because they've been relegated. And look, there's still 12 games to go. They can still do it. They have to believe they can still do it. But from what we're seeing, Flo, what our eyes are telling us, and what the fixture list, you know, they've got remaining as well, it's very difficult to see how they can get themselves out of it. Sometimes you're in that slump mentally. It's very, very hard, but they have to find a way, and it just takes one game, and they were obviously hoping it'd be this one against their big rivals. It's not. They hope it's now the next one against Portsmouth. They have to do it and then get back-to-back victories. It's amazing if you can get that, how things do turn around, but this moment in time, confidence is so fragile.
As for Watford, derby day delight, and they were deserving of the victory as well. Tom Cleverley set his side up really well. Can they push and get in the playoff spots come the end of the season?
Well, can they? Yes. Do I think they will? No, I think they'll fall a little bit short, but I still think that'll be a sensational season for Tom Cleverley and Watford. My worry is that whatever happens, even if they fell away, even if they got into the playoffs and didn't win, even if they got into the playoffs and did go up, that Tom Cleverley won't be the manager for Watford next season. And I think that's wrong. I think he's done a great job. I think he's learning all the time. And just for this one time, I think the owners should think, okay, well, let's go with this guy and invest in him for a good few years. But it's not going to happen. But can they? Why not? They're 3 points away. If they can get the home form back to how it was earlier in the season and carry on the road, then you just never know. But I do think it's going to be very difficult for them.
Vicarage Road enjoying the scenes. They've beaten Luton Town here by 2-0. Full time, Watford 2, Luton 0.